Welcome to Twisted Heartstrings. If you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Let me know in the comments which city you're watching from so I can see how far this story travels. 15 years of marriage can teach you many things about a person. It can show you their morning habits, their favorite foods, the way they laugh at silly jokes. But sometimes, 15 years isn't enough to show you who they really are. My name is Emma Carter, and I learned this lesson on a rainy Tuesday afternoon in March. I had just returned from my morning yoga class, feeling peaceful and centered. Our home in Riverside, a beautiful 3-story house with a white picket fence, looked perfect as always. The garden I had spent years cultivating bloomed with spring flowers. Everything seemed normal. Everything seemed fine. But nothing was fine. The text message that changed everything. I picked up my phone from the kitchen counter to check my messages. David, my husband, had left his phone at home. It sat next to mine, buzzing with incoming texts. I wouldn't normally look, but the screen lit up with a message that made my blood freeze. Last night was amazing. I can't wait until we don't have to hide anymore. Love you, babe. The message was from Rachel. My best friend Rachel. The woman who had been my maid of honor. The woman I had supported through 2 divorces. The woman who came to our house every Sunday for dinner. My hands shook as I unlocked David's phone. I knew his password. We had no secrets. Or so I thought. The messages went back 6 months. 6 whole months of lies, stolen moments, and plans for a future that didn't include me. They talked about romantic getaways I knew nothing about. They shared intimate photos. They discussed how to tell me, when to tell me, how to handle me. I sat down on our kitchen floor, still holding both phones, and I didn't cry. Something strange happened instead. A cold clarity washed over me. All the little things I had ignored suddenly made sense. The late nights at the office, the new cologne, the way Rachel had become distant, then overly friendly, the business trips that seemed too frequent, confronting the truth. I heard David's car pull into the driveway. My successful, charming husband who worked as a real estate developer, the man I had supported through his early career struggles, the man I had loved since college. He walked in, smiling that easy smile that used to make my heart flutter. Hey, honey, did you have a good class? I stood up calmly and handed him his phone. You left this at home. Rachel has been trying to reach you. She says last night was amazing. The color drained from his face. For a moment, he looked like he might deny it, but something in my expression stopped him. Maybe it was the calmness. Maybe it was the look in my eyes. Emma, I can explain. I don't want explanations, I said quietly. I want the truth. How long? 6 months, he whispered, unable to meet my eyes. And you love her? He nodded slowly. I'm sorry. I never meant for this to happen. We just connected. She understands me in ways that. Don't, I interrupted. Don't insult me by making this about what I lack. Just tell me what you want. The shocking demand. David took a deep breath. I want a divorce. Rachel and I want to get married. We want to do this right, Emma. We don't want to hurt you more than necessary. I almost laughed at that. Don't want to hurt me more than necessary. As if there was a gentle way to destroy someone's life. I see, I said. And when were you planning to tell me? Soon. We were waiting for the right time. The right time, I repeated. Is there ever a right time to tell your wife you've been sleeping with her best friend? Rachel arrived an hour later. David had called her, and she came running. She looked nervous, guilty, but also defiant. Like she had won some prize. Emma, I'm so sorry, she started, her voice shaking. I never wanted to hurt you. But David and I, we fell in love. Real love. The kind that you can't fight. I looked at her. This woman I had known for 12 years. We had shared everything. Or so I thought. How much do you want? David asked suddenly. Excuse me. For the divorce. How much money do you want? I'll make sure you're taken care of. The house, a settlement, whatever you need. The mysterious calmness. This was the moment that surprised even me. I smiled. A real, genuine smile. I don't want your money, David. You can keep everything. The house, the cars, the bank accounts. All of it. They both stared at me in shock. What? Rachel asked. Emma, are you feeling okay? I'm feeling wonderful, actually. Crystal clear. You two want to be together? Then be together. I won't fight it. I won't make this difficult. You can have your perfect life. David looked suspicious now. He knew me well enough to know I wasn't a pushover. Emma, what's going on? Why are you being so calm about this? Because, I said simply, 15 years have taught me that life is too short to fight battles that don't matter. If you want Rachel, have Rachel. If you want a divorce, let's get divorced. I'll sign whatever papers you need. Hidden depths. What neither of them knew was that I had been preparing for this moment for 3 years. Not because I knew about the affair, but because I had learned a valuable lesson about trust and protection. 3 years ago, my father passed away. He had been a quiet man, a professor of economics who lived simply. At his funeral, his lawyer pulled me aside and told me something shocking. My father had been a brilliant investor. He had built a fortune of over $50 million through careful, strategic investments. And he had left it all to me, with one condition. I was to tell no one, not even my husband, until I was certain I needed it. Your mother learned the hard way that money changes people, the lawyer had explained. Your father wanted to protect you. He wanted you to know who truly loved you for yourself. I had kept that secret for 3 years. I lived as David's wife, using his money, depending on his income, playing the role of the supportive spouse. But in secret, I had been building something else. I had started 3 businesses under a company named no one connected to me. I owned properties across the state. I had investments that grew daily. David thought I was a simple yoga instructor who made a modest income. He had no idea that I could buy his entire company twice over without blinking. The plan takes shape. Over the next 2 weeks, I played my part perfectly. I was sad but understanding. I met with David's lawyer and agreed to everything. I signed papers without reading them carefully, making them think I was too heartbroken to pay attention. Rachel moved in with David 3 days after I moved out. I rented a small apartment downtown, playing the role of the abandoned wife beautifully. Friends called to offer support. Some blamed me for not being exciting enough. Others blamed David for being a cheater. I accepted all their opinions with quiet grace. But in my small apartment, I was busy. I made calls to my lawyers. I reviewed my portfolio. I checked on my businesses. And I planned. Rachel's true colors. Rachel called me one evening, her voice syrupy sweet. Emma, I know this is hard for you, but I hope someday we can be friends again. David and I really do care about you. I'm sure you do, I said neutrally. We're thinking about getting married in June. A small ceremony, nothing too fancy. We wanted to be respectful of your feelings. How thoughtful. David feels guilty, you know. He wants to make sure you're okay financially. Maybe he could help you with rent or... I'm fine, Rachel. I don't need his help. There was a pause. Emma, are you working? I know yoga classes don't pay much. If you need money. I said I'm fine. Her voice changed, becoming sharper. You know, Emma, you should be grateful David is being so generous. Some men would leave their wives with nothing. You're getting the house equity, and he's not even asking you to pay back the money he spent on your little yoga hobby. My little yoga hobby. The studio I had built with my own money, the one that netted over $200,000 a year. But she didn't know that. You're right, Rachel. I'm very grateful. David's visit. David came to see me at the apartment one evening. He looked uncomfortable, guilty, but also eager to move forward with his new life. Emma, I wanted to check on you. Make sure you're settling in okay. I'm fine, David. Really. He looked around the small apartment, and I saw pity in his eyes. Good. Let him feel superior. I've been thinking, he said slowly. Maybe we rushed into this. Maybe we should have gone to counseling, tried to work things out. Do you love Rachel? I asked directly. Yes, he admitted. I do. Then there's nothing to work out. You want to be with her. I want you to be happy. He seemed relieved. You're being so understanding about this. I was worried you'd be angry, that you try to take me for everything I have. I smiled softly. David, we had 15 years together. Some of them were good. I don't want to end this with hatred. I just want to move on. Rachel was right about you, he said. You really are one of the kindest people I know. I'm sorry I couldn't appreciate that. After he left, I sat in my small apartment and laughed. Really laughed. They thought they were winning. They thought they had gotten away with the perfect crime. They had no idea what was coming. The investigation begins. I hired a private investigator. Not for the affair, that was already proven, but to dig into David's business. I had a feeling, a suspicion that had been growing for years. David's real estate company had been struggling. He hid it well, but I had noticed small things. Stressed phone calls, late-night work sessions, his insistence that I didn't need to worry about finances. The investigator called me 2 weeks later. Mrs. Carter, you need to see this. We met at a coffee shop downtown. He handed me a thick folder. Your husband has been running a scheme. He's been using investor money for personal expenses, promising returns he can't deliver. He's in debt for over $2 million. The house you signed over to him? It's mortgaged 3 times over. His company is about to collapse. I read through the documents carefully. Bank statements, email exchanges, testimony from angry investors. And Miss Rachel Foster? I asked. She knows everything. In fact, she's been encouraging him. She's pushed him to take bigger risks, make bigger promises. She thinks when they get married, she'll have access to everything. But there's nothing to access. Exactly. He's broke. Worse than broke. He's facing potential fraud charges. I closed the folder. Thank you. This is very helpful. The setup. I made a call to an old friend from college, Marcus Stone. He had become a successful venture capitalist, and we had stayed in touch over the years. Emma Carter, he answered warmly. It's been too long. Marcus, I need a favor. A big one. Name it. I need you to offer David a deal. A huge investment opportunity. Something that seems too good to be true. There was a pause. Emma, what are you planning? Justice, Marcus. I'm planning justice. We talked for an hour. Marcus loved the plan. That cheating bastard deserves everything coming to him. I'm in. The trap was set. Now I just had to wait. Rachel's announcement. 2 weeks later, Rachel called me. She was crying happy tears. Emma, I have to tell you something. I'm pregnant. David and I are having a baby. I felt my stomach turn, but I kept my voice steady. Congratulations, Rachel. I know this must be hard for you. I know you and David tried for years. But I wanted you to hear it from me. We're getting married next month. A big ceremony. We want to celebrate properly. A big ceremony. With what money? David was drowning in debt, and Rachel had no idea. That's wonderful, I said. I'm happy for you both. Really? She sounded surprised. Really? You and David deserve each other. She laughed, missing the double meaning. You're such a good person, Emma. David was a fool to let you go. But I promise I'll take good care of him. After we hung up, I allowed myself a moment of pain. A baby. They were having a baby. Something David and I had wanted desperately, but never achieved. But then I remembered the emails the investigator had shown me. The ones where David told Rachel he had never really wanted children with me. That he was just going through the motions. That with her, everything was different. The pain turned back to ice. Cold, clear, purposeful ice. The wedding plans. David called a few days later. Emma, I know this is awkward, but Rachel and I are getting married on June 15th. We're having a big celebration. We wanted to invite you, but we understand if you don't want to come. Where's the wedding? The Grand Rose Hotel. The ballroom. Rachel wanted something spectacular. The Grand Rose Hotel. The most expensive venue in the city. Starting price, $50,000 just for the space rental. That sounds lovely, I said. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you, Emma. You're being so gracious about this. I don't deserve it. You're right, David. You don't. He laughed nervously, unsure if I was joking. I wasn't. Everything was falling into place. The wedding was in 4 weeks. Marcus's fake investment offer would come in 2 weeks, right when David was most desperate. Rachel was planning a wedding they couldn't afford, and I was ready to watch it all crumble. But I wasn't cruel. I wasn't going to destroy them out of spite. I was simply going to step back and let the truth destroy them instead. Sometimes the best revenge isn't what you do. It's what you allow to happen naturally when lies finally catch up to liars. The stage was set. The players were in position. And I had the best seat in the house to watch the show. Part 2. The Calculated Revenge. The Golden Opportunity. Welcome back to Twisted Heartstrings. If you're just joining us, make sure to watch Part 1 first. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. 2 weeks after Rachel's pregnancy announcement, Marcus made his move. He called David directly, introducing himself as a venture capitalist interested in Riverside's booming real estate market. I listened to the recording Marcus sent me later that evening. David's voice was eager, almost desperate. Mr. Stone, I've heard wonderful things about your investment firm. What can I do for you? Actually, Mr. Carter, it's what I can do for you. I've been reviewing the market, and your company keeps coming up. You've made some impressive moves over the years. David's voice swelled with pride. Thank you. We try to stay ahead of the curve. I'm putting together a consortium for a major development project. Waterfront properties, luxury condos, the works. We're talking a $200 million project. I need local partners who know the area. Are you interested? There was a pause. I could almost hear David's heart racing. Very interested. When can we meet? How about lunch tomorrow? The Capitol Club, 1 o'clock. Perfect. Marcus was reeling him in beautifully. The lunch meeting. Marcus called me right after the lunch meeting ended. Emma, you should have seen his face. He practically drooled over the contract. Did he sign? Not yet. He wants his lawyer to review it. But he's hooked. I made the deal look legitimate enough to pass basic scrutiny, but vague enough that anyone with real experience would see the problems. And the money? I told him we need a good faith investment from all partners. $200,000. Due in 3 weeks. I smiled. David didn't have $200,000. He barely had $20,000 in accessible funds. This would force him to make desperate moves. Marcus, you're a genius. I learned from the best. Your father taught me everything I know about strategic investing. He'd be proud of what you're doing, Emma. David's desperation. David called me the next day. His voice was cheerful, but I could hear the strain underneath. Emma, how are you doing? I'm well, David. What do you need? I need to ask you something. It's about the divorce settlement. I know we agreed on terms, but I was wondering if you might consider adjusting the timeline. Adjusting how? The house equity payment. We agreed I'd pay you your share in 6 months. I was hoping we could push that to a year, maybe 18 months. So it was starting. The pressure was building. Why the delay? I asked innocently. Just cash flow issues. You know how business is. I have a major deal coming through, but I need to move some money around first. David, we have a legal agreement. I'm counting on that money. That was a lie. I didn't need his money at all, but I needed him to think I did. Please, Emma. I'm asking as someone who cared about you for 15 years. Just a little more time. I let the silence stretch. I'll think about it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Rachel's shopping spree. Rachel posted constantly on social media. I watched from my fake account as she documented her wedding preparations. Designer dress shopping. Cake tastings. Venue decorations. Every post was more extravagant than the last. One post showed her at a jewelry store. Finally found the perfect wedding bands. David spoils me so much. Gemstone red heart. Another showed her with an interior designer, redecorating our home office. Out with the old, in with the new. Fresh starts all around. House sparkles. Our home office. The one I had designed. The one with the built-in bookshelves David and I had installed together one summer. My phone rang. It was Kelly, a mutual friend of Rachel and mine. Her voice was hushed. Emma, I need to tell you something. I'm at lunch with Rachel right now, and she's talking about you. What's she saying? She's telling everyone that you were holding David back, that he's finally free to be successful now that you're gone. She's saying you were jealous of her friendship with David, that you were controlling and boring. I closed my eyes. Thank you for telling me, Kelly. There's more. She's bragging about the baby, saying things like some women are meant to be mothers and some aren't. Emma, she's being cruel. I appreciate you telling me. Really. After hanging up, I made another call, this time to my accountant. Robert, it's Emma. I need you to liquidate some investments. About $500,000. For what purpose, if you don't mind me asking? I'm about to make some strategic purchases. Real estate, specifically. The property game. 3 days later, I bought the building that housed David's office. He was leasing the space, and the owner had been looking to sell. I paid cash through one of my shell companies. David would never know his new landlord was his ex-wife. Then I bought 3 properties he had been trying to acquire for months. Properties he needed for his legitimate business deals. I outbid him each time, using different company names. To him, it would look like terrible luck. One opportunity after another, slipping through his fingers. My lawyer, Catherine Reynolds, called to confirm the final purchase. Emma, you now own 4 buildings in downtown Riverside, including your ex-husband's office building. What's the next move? We wait. His lease comes up for renewal in 2 months. We're going to triple the rent. Catherine laughed. You're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I learned from the best. My father always said the most effective revenge is the kind that looks like bad luck. The cracks begin to show. Rachel called me one evening, and for the first time, she didn't sound triumphant. She sounded worried. Emma, can I ask you something? Of course. Did David ever have money problems when you were married? My heart rate increased, but I kept my voice casual. What kind of problems? I don't know. He's been stressed lately. Snapping at me. We went to look at baby furniture yesterday, and he said we should wait. But the baby's coming in 6 months. We can't wait forever. Maybe he's just feeling the pressure of becoming a father, I suggested. Maybe. But Emma, there's something else. I found some papers in his office. Letters from lawyers, from people demanding money. He said they were just business disputes, but you're worried. Yes. Her voice was small now, vulnerable. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Rachel, you're marrying him. You should probably know what you're getting into financially. He says everything is fine. He says I shouldn't worry about business stuff. And you believe him? Silence. Rachel, do you remember what happened with your second husband? You didn't ask questions then either. This is different. David is successful. He has money. Does he? Have you actually seen his bank statements? His business accounts? Emma, are you trying to make me doubt him? I'm trying to help you. You're having his baby. You deserve to know the truth about his finances. She hung up on me. Good. Seeds of doubt were now planted. Marcus's follow-up. Marcus called David again, increasing the pressure. Mr. Carter, we need that good faith investment by next Friday. The consortium is ready to move forward, but we need all partners committed. According to Marcus, David's voice was strained. I understand. I'm liquidating some assets. The money will be ready. Excellent. I should mention, we have 2 other local firms interested if you need to step back. No. I'm in. Definitely in. After he hung up, David called Rachel. Marcus had managed to bug David's office phone during a meeting, which was probably illegal, but I wasn't planning to use the recordings in court. I just wanted to know. Rachel, I need to ask you something. What is it, baby? Do you have any money saved? Any investments your father might have given you? Why? I need access to some capital for a business deal. It's huge, Rachel. This could set us up for life. How much do you need? 200,000. Rachel's laugh was sharp. David, I don't have that kind of money. My father cut me off after my last divorce. Everything I have is in credit cards and loans. What? You said your family was wealthy. They are. I'm not. There's a difference. The phone went silent for a long moment. David, what's going on? Why do you need so much money? It's an investment opportunity. A partnership with Marcus Stone. Do you know who he is? No. He's one of the biggest venture capitalists in the region. This deal could make us millions. Or it could be a scam. It's not a scam. I've had my lawyer review everything. But I knew David's lawyer. He was cheap and not very thorough. He wouldn't catch the subtle issues Marcus had built into the contract. The breaking point. 5 days before the investment was due, David showed up at my apartment. It was late, almost 10 at night. When I opened the door, he looked terrible. Disheveled, unshaven, desperate. Emma, I need your help. Come in. He sat on my small couch, his head in his hands. I've made some mistakes. Business mistakes. I'm in trouble. What kind of trouble? I owe people money. A lot of money. And now I have this opportunity, this chance to fix everything, but I need capital. Emma, I need $200,000. I sat across from him. David, I don't have that kind of money. Yes, you do. The house settlement. I know it's not due for months, but if you could just advance it to me now. I can't. Please. I'm begging you. For the years we had together, for everything we meant to each other. You mean the years you were planning to leave me? The years you were sleeping with my best friend? He flinched. I deserve that. I know I hurt you. But Emma, if I don't get this money, I'm going to lose everything. The house, the company, everything. Maybe you should tell Rachel. She's your partner now. She doesn't have money. Her family won't help her. So you came to me. The woman you betrayed. The woman you discarded. I had nowhere else to go. I looked at him. This man I had loved for 15 years. He looked broken, desperate. But I felt nothing. No sympathy, no anger. Just cold satisfaction. No, David. I won't give you the money. Emma, please. Get out. You don't understand. These people I owe money to, they're not patient. If I don't pay them back, there could be legal trouble. Criminal charges, even. Then you should have thought of that before you committed fraud. His eyes widened. How did you? I know everything, David. The fake invoices. The investor money you used for personal expenses. The 3 mortgages on the house. I know it all. He stood up, his face pale. You investigated me? I protected myself. There's a difference. What are you going to do? Nothing. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to watch you face the consequences of your own actions. Emma, if you ever loved me. I did love you. And you threw that away for someone who doesn't even have the money to help you now. That's not my problem anymore. He left without another word. Rachel's discovery. The next morning, Rachel posted on social media, "When you realize you don't know someone as well as you thought. Broken heart." Then another post. "Sometimes the person you're planning a future with is hiding their past." Kelly texted me. "Rachel found out about David's debts. She's freaking out. They had a huge fight." I called Kelly. "What happened?" She went through his office. Found all the letters, the legal notices, everything. She confronted him, and he admitted he's basically broke. "Emma, she's talking about calling off the wedding." "Is she?" "I don't know. She's pregnant and scared. She doesn't know what to do." Part of me, a small part, felt sympathy. Rachel was pregnant and facing the reality that the man she thought would provide security was drowning in debt. But then I remembered the texts, the lies, the betrayal, the cruel things she'd said about me. Sympathy faded. The empire revealed. I decided it was time to make my next move. I called a press conference at my largest yoga studio downtown. I invited local business reporters, community leaders, and selected friends. When I walked into the conference room, wearing a designer suit that cost more than David made in a month, people were confused. This wasn't the simple yoga instructor they knew. "Thank you all for coming," I began. "I wanted to share some exciting news about the expansion of Carter Wellness Enterprises." I clicked to the first slide. My company logo appeared on the screen. For those who don't know, I am the founder and CEO of Carter Wellness Enterprises. We own 17 yoga studios across 3 states, a chain of health food stores, and a wellness retreat center. This year, our revenue exceeded $42 million. The room was silent. Shocked. Next month, we're opening 5 new locations, including one here in Riverside. We're also launching a line of wellness products and an online platform for virtual classes. Kelly's mouth was hanging open. Other friends looked stunned. I know this comes as a surprise to many of you. I've kept my business life separate from my personal life for various reasons. But as I move forward after my divorce, I wanted to be more open about who I am and what I've built. I took questions for an hour. About my business, my plans, my journey. Not once did anyone ask about David. They didn't need to. The message was clear. I wasn't the broken, abandoned wife living in a small apartment. I was a successful businesswoman who had been playing chess while everyone else played checkers. David's phone call. That evening, David called. His voice was shaking. $42 million? Hello, David. You have 17 studios? You're a CEO? I am. All this time you were rich? You were successful? And you let me think. I let you think what you wanted to think. You assumed I was just a simple yoga instructor because that fit the story you told yourself. The story where you were the successful one and I was the dependent wife. Emma, if I had known, you would have what? Not cheated on me. Not left me for Rachel. David, the money doesn't change what you did. But you could have helped me. All these months, watching me struggle, and you had millions. I had no obligation to help you. You made your choices. This is cruel. This is revenge. No, David. Revenge would be exposing your fraud to the authorities. Revenge would be buying your company and liquidating it. Revenge would be destroying you. I'm simply existing and succeeding. If that makes you feel destroyed, that's your guilt talking, not my cruelty. He hung up. 2 hours later, Rachel called. You bitch. Hello, Rachel. You've been rich this whole time? You let us think you were struggling, that you needed David's money, and you're a millionaire? Multi-millionaire, actually. This was all a game to you. You wanted to watch us suffer. I wanted to see who you really were. Both of you. And you showed me. I'm pregnant with David's child. Doesn't that mean anything to you? It means you're having a baby with a man who's drowning in debt and facing fraud charges. It means you chose security over friendship, and you chose wrong. That's not my problem, Rachel. The wedding is in 3 weeks. We've spent thousands on deposits. Money we don't have. Then cancel it. Or have a small ceremony. Or elope. There are options. You want us to fail. No, Rachel. I want you to face reality. The reality that actions have consequences. The reality that betrayal has a cost. She was crying now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for what we did to you. Are you sorry you did it? Or sorry you got caught? Sorry you're facing consequences. Silence. That's what I thought. Goodbye, Rachel. The final pieces. I met with Catherine, my lawyer, the next day. David's lease on his office building comes up for renewal in 2 weeks, she said. What do you want to do? Triple the rent as planned. But give him an option. He can buy the building. Full price, cash deal, 30 days to close. He doesn't have that kind of money. I know, but it will give him hope. False hope, but hope nonetheless. And when he can't come up with the money, when he has to close his office and move his failing company, it will hurt more. You're playing a dangerous game, Emma. No, I'm playing a winning game. There's a difference. Marcus called later that day. The investment deadline is tomorrow. David called me 3 times today, begging for an extension. What did you say? I said business is business. The consortium needs committed partners. If he can't deliver, we'll move on. Perfect. Emma, he's going to crash hard. Are you ready for that? Marcus, I was ready the moment I found those text messages on his phone. I've been ready for months. The wedding invitation. Despite everything, an invitation to the wedding arrived at my apartment. Cream-colored, embossed with gold letters. Rachel Foster and David Carter request the pleasure of your company at their wedding ceremony. Below, in smaller print, black tie optional. Dinner and dancing to follow. I held the invitation, turning it over in my hands. They were still going through with it. Despite the debt, despite the exposed secrets, despite everything. I called the Grand Rose Hotel. Hello, I'm calling about the Carter-Foster wedding on June 15th. Yes, how can I help you? I was wondering if the final payment has been made. I'm sorry, I can't discuss. I'm Emma Carter, David Carter's ex-wife. I'm considering a generous gift, but I want to make sure the venue is secured first. There was a pause. Mrs. Carter, the final payment was due yesterday. It hasn't been received. We're actually about to send a cancellation notice. Don't. I'll take care of it. I'm sorry. The wedding. The full amount. I'm going to pay for it. All of it. That's very generous. I want everything they ordered. The flowers, the cake, the band, the dinner. Everything. Of course. We'll need payment within. You'll have it within the hour. I hung up and called my accountant. Robert, wire $73,000 to the Grand Rose Hotel. For the Carter-Foster wedding. You're paying for your ex-husband's wedding? Yes. Emma, have you lost your mind? No, Robert. I found it. Trust me. The message. After confirming the payment, I called David. Don't hang up, I said when he answered. What do you want, Emma? I paid for your wedding. Silence. What? The Grand Rose Hotel. Your venue. It's paid for. All $73,000. Why would you do that? Because I want you to get married, David. I want you and Rachel to have your perfect day. Your beautiful ceremony. Your expensive reception. I don't understand. You will. Soon. Consider it my wedding.